Welcome to Shortstop on Pool, Rack of the Week 158. I'm calling this non-linear thinking. It's going to be a pretty quick one. We'll get into that in a second. Remember that you can use code SSOP, discount code, at iCats to get $50 off the computer projection training system. Here's a link to my video about that system and the straight pool shots from the break shots from my straight pool book are a module that you can purchase for that system. So look into that. Got my laser engraver working, and I'm putting my logo, engraving my logo onto the Ghost Trainers. So that's a little bit of a new thing. And I want to welcome my new patrons and YouTube members, Mark, Rex, Jamie, Anton, Danny, and Bradley. Thank you very much for your support. Let's get into the rack. This is the second rack in my 118 ball run that I scored a couple of days ago. And I'm trying to think about straight pool in a little bit different way after the visit from John Schmidt. I talked last week about seeing the whole table more and being more open to nudges and improving the layout of the balls. And I think that's helping some. And you tell me if that's the case here. Let's take a look at this break shot. This is, I think, the second rack of my run. And I've chosen a stun shot. I think the cue ball is just going to stun off the side of the rack. So I'm going to hit this with a pretty good force. Yeah, just stun off the side of the rack over to the side rail. So this is a typical opening. I've got, a fairly clustered center of the table area, but not too great. But I'm going to have to bump balls in order to open things up. And looking at the rack, there's something I'm doing very different than normal. First of all, realize there's one up table ball, so that's something that's going to have to be dealt with. I need to use the low balls to somehow open these balls up with insurance and preserve a break shot. The 8 ball is the only thing right now that might be a break shot, but these other balls could get moved over and made a break shot as well. The thing I'm doing different is nonlinear thinking. So historically, I would have, obviously you're going to shoot this easy shot on the side to begin. Historically, I would have rolled forward to get an easy shot on the 7 and then tried to draw the cue ball back a little bit so I can shoot this 2, assuming it goes, and if it doesn't, draw back a little bit farther to shoot one of these balls and make something happen in that way. But I'm taking a little bit, I don't know, I'm taking a little bit a better view of the whole table as I go, and I'm realizing, so right here I made a decision that I never would have done in the past, and that is to stop the cue ball dead for this combination. Number one, it's a super easy combination. You're playing straight pool. You cannot be afraid of combinations, and that's something I'm getting more comfortable with. But this is an easier combination than most. Rather than thinking about the 7 ball as a blocker ball that needs to be removed, don't make it a problem. Make it an asset. I can go ahead and shoot this really easy combination. The 12 ball is probably going to drop down to the bottom rail. But what's most important is I can then shoot a stop shot, and I'm on the 14. And I can just roll forward and open these balls. Now think about this. This is after the break shot. That's going to be 2 shots to most likely get to a completely open rack that should be 99% runnable. So let's see how. So that's the value in what I'm talking about. You've got to take a more
7 ball.
An approach that sees more possibilities in the future of the rack. So just a stop shot here, nothing to it. Now, when you look at these balls, you've got to decide how hard you're going to hit this. You're making an educated guess, and obviously the 14 ball is going to hit. I'm going to use top. I'm going to aim at the top of the cue ball, and the cue ball is going to hit the 5. The 5 is going to go this way. It might carry him off the ball, go this way. The cue ball might hit the 5 full and go through, or it might hit the top of the 5 and then go towards this ball. And so, what shot am I going to have next? Boy, I don't know. The 14 is going to be gone, so I might have a shot on the 2 ball back this way, or I might come up table and have a shot on this up table ball. I'm not sure. But this is a very low risk regardless. But because of that determination, I know that I don't need to blast it. I don't need the cue ball to go to the rail. I don't need to power through, just nice and gentle like that. So this is a very good result. I have a shot on that one ball up table, but another ball came loose. And I'm surveying the possibilities. And this is the second moment where I think having a bigger picture of the whole table really helped. And I talk about nonlinear thinking. So I've got another possibility for a break ball, and that's the 6, but it's a little bit tied up. But the balls, for the most part, are just open now. There's no two balls touching. This is going to require a little bit of navigation, but I'll handle it, I'm sure. Now, what do? Do you shoot the one ball now or later? And when I say nonlinear thinking, when I'm walking over here to the other end of the table and I'm taking a look, I'd like to shoot the 9. Obviously, it's a super easy shot. What am I going to do from the 9? So linear thinking says it's easy to shoot the 9 and come over here and then shoot the 10 if the 10 goes by there, or come down and shoot the 12 and then come up and shoot one of these balls back this way. That's very linear thinking. It's connect the dots. One ball connects to the next ball, etc. And I'm kind of disappointed in that. I'd love for the 3 ball, or I'd love for the 11 or something to go into this pocket, because then I can shoot the 9 and just bounce up here and have position on one of those balls. And that's the type of thing you really look for in straight pool, this connect the dots, where it's almost stop shots, one shot to the next, to the next, to the next. You're not going to get that on every rack. And in fact, you've got to turn it around to a positive. So I'm abandoning linear thinking here. First of all, it is correct, I think, right now, to shoot the 9 rather than shooting the. You could easily shoot the 1, 15, and then the 9. That'd be okay. But I prefer this isn't quite open yet. I still have problems to solve. So I kind of want to deal with this. And what does nonlinear thinking mean? Rather than just trying to bounce the cue ball and control it tightly to the next shot, I decide, and this is something I've rarely done in the past, is I'm going to go 2 rails forward up this way. Not hard. I'm thinking I might hit the 4 ball full, which is fine, because that could knock it forward and the 6 up, and that'll open these balls up. And I'm going to have a shot back this way, or on the 11 in the side, or one of these balls back this way. I don't know what shot I'm going to have, so I'm abandoning that linear thinking that says I must get the cue ball to this exact spot. This is something that I saw John Schmidt doing a lot when he was playing on my table. It's not reckless. It's a high percentage play. I'm going to get a shot. I don't know exactly which one, but I need to improve the lie of the balls just a little bit. And so I'm finally I'm still looking, I'm deciding. I'm really disappointed that I can't shoot in that linear fashion where I'm connecting the dots. But I've come to the realization that that's the correct shot. And I've got a stretch at 6'5". I can reach it just barely. So no English, just a nice smooth follow stroke. See how the cue ball jumped off the rail? And I didn't hit the 4 ball, but I did hit the 5. So I've improved the lie of the balls. And then this is something I talk about in my book, and that's getting the cue ball inside of the circle. Look at this circle of balls, right? No 2 balls touching. The cue ball's inside the circle. I got shots in every direction, literally. Every single direction I have shots. Get the cue ball inside the circle. So that's the wise play rather than that linear thinking. So from here, there's a number of things you can do. As a right-hander, I'm not going to shoot the 2 ball. And I believe I decide to shoot the 4. I might be committing to the 8 ball as the break ball here. Oh, no, that's right. So this is another nonlinear thinking. So often in straight pool, you're playing in these bottom 4 pockets, and you're favoring the corner pockets. You want to kind of go side, shoot the corner pockets. But in this case, I'm not quite straight, but I have a slight angle, and I can shoot this orange ball on the side, and I can nudge the 6, and I'm going to have a shot on the 2 ball this way, if not something else. Once again, a slight nudge in the middle of the rack to improve the lie of the balls. I even have a chance to knock the 6 ball straight across, so it becomes another break ball. So that's definitely the correct shot rather than shooting the 10. So that 6 is not going to be a break ball from there. I'm going to commit to the 8. And I'm right now I'm making I quickly made another strategic decision, and that's to go to the 11 in the side. The 11 is not a good key ball for this 8. It's just too close to it, and it's too far from the side pocket. And I luckily am almost dead straight on the 11, so that's the shot rather than the 2. If the 4 wasn't here, you could shoot the 2 and play position here to shoot this 11 back there, and that's a high percentage play. But the 11 ball's the only problem on the table. I need to clear it. And then I've also realized at this point, I'm in the end pattern. All the balls are wide open now, right? There are no longer any issues once I shoot this 11 in the side. Now, it's super easy to shoot a stop shot and then shoot the 4 ball next. But you've got to have a picture of the entire table. I'm now committing to the 8 ball as the break ball. What's the best key ball on the table? Any of you who watch my rack of the weeks know what it is. It's this ball, because you can go 2 rails right out to break shot position. Okay, and so knowing that, I want to keep these balls to use as key ball and K2 to get on this ball. Okay. The other thing is that you can notice that the 6 ball is a ball that I can find from up table. I have a massive, gigantic football field size, I'm exaggerating, position zone to get on that 6. Whereas if I tried to play position from an up table ball to the 2, I don't have such a big position zone now. So you can find the 6 from up table, and it leads naturally to these other balls. Now is the time to go get the up table balls. And these balls, believe it or not, connect to each other very easily, because if I play position for the 1 ball over here first, I'm almost certain to have this angle where the cue ball goes this way after I pocket the 1. I can go to the head rail and down, or I can just stun over, and then I have the 15 in the side, and bing, I'm on my 6. I can get a shot on the 1 ball from over here. Then you just cut the 1 ball in, the cue ball comes this way, you're on the 15 again. Or you can play position for the 15 up here, very simple to shoot the 15, and then you're on the 1, and leads very naturally to the 6. So believe it or not, having a ball in the corner and the side like this, they connect to each other real well. I have an angle on this 11 in the side that I can get the cue ball to the rail below the side pocket and then just follow straight up for the 15. So saw that opportunity real quickly, so that's the play here. After that, the rack shoots itself, and I hope you can see that. So this is 15-1. I want to get close to straight on this one. Well, you can get close to straight or an angle. But this is climbing down the ladder, because once I get on this 6 ball, I actually get I'm inside of the 6 a little bit. And that's not an accident. I played for that on purpose, because now my cue ball can go this way. And then you're just climbing down the ladder. Stop shot, stop shot, stop shot. Easy as pie. You want to get as many racks to go like this as you can during a high run, if you're going to get a high run, because not all of them are going to be like this. Some of them are going to be a struggle. The more racks that you can see these options and see the whole rack through nonlinear thinking, the more racks you can make this easy by your shot selection, the better chance you are having a 100 ball run. So this was super easy. This is the end pattern you want. 3 stop shots to get perfect on your break ball or on your key ball. And then I love what I do here. Point. You've got to do this. So I'm going to mark this spot right here. So what am I doing when I look at this? I want to be right there. If you notice, here's your shot line. Your ghost ball is here. I've pointed to a spot exactly parallel above the ghost ball. So that's a great position to aim for, because if you get just a little bit short of your position, you've got a good inside angle on that break shot. You're not way over here. If you come a little bit too long, you still have enough angle to pocket that break ball and open the rack. So that's the position you want to look for. And then what else am I doing? What I'm doing is angle in, angle out. So the 14 ball, or is that the 14? Whatever. This stripe is this far from the rail. This one's roughly twice as far. 1/3 of that distance is here. So I'm looking at angle in to angle out to get there. So you're simply judging how much left spin. You're picking this spot on the rail, and you're judging how much spin do I need on the ball, on the cue ball, to hit this spot. And then the rest is speed control, which ironically, one of my next instructional videos coming out is going to be about speed control. But by pointing like this and then visualizing it before you get down on the shot, it's already there. You're seeing the path of that cue ball. Bing, and it just floats right on out there. Oh, I erased my spot, but as you can tell, I got very, very, very close to it. So this is an ideal break shot. I have an ideal angle on it. It's just a little bit of a low break shot. And that's not a negative thing. That's just identifying what it is. And you can tell, again, actually, I think on this one, I'm noticing that I'm hitting the high side of this 2 ball, and I do decide to draw the cue ball up to the head rail for that reason. It's going to go there anyway, and I want these balls to open. Yeah, so I went ahead and not a super powerful draw stroke, but there was definitely a draw stroke. And the balls opened up real nicely. I've got a shot on the 1, the 10, the 7. Obviously, I'm going to shoot the 13, and I'm in business. I hope that made sense to you. I hope that I'm expanding the way that I'm thinking about the approach to racks. Less linear thinking, trying to see the whole rack, even when they're kind of clustered, seeing your possibilities, and it's not being more aggressive. It's being open to the possibilities of safely bumping balls to improve the lie. You only need to bump them, just nudge them a little bit, and it can dramatically change the layout and just make it so much easier. And this, I thought this rack was pretty simple, but a very good example of it. And maybe that's the key, because if you're seeing that, you're making the rack simple when it could have been much harder. And maybe that's one of the keys to connecting more racks together and getting higher runs. Food for thought. It's definitely on my mind. I hope you like that. Thank you for watching. See you next week on Rack of the Week. Remember, if you're going to play straight pool, play it straight. See you next week.